My name is Brion Sims-Johnson, and I'm originally from the south side of St. Louis. I grew up on the south side with my mom and my older brother, Justin. It was very, unique experience for us growing up in St. Louis because there was always something going on. We seen a lot, we experienced a lot, but our family wasn't very rich, so we stayed in very poor neighborhoods, very not well-off neighborhoods, so it was tough for us to survive. And in these neighborhoods, there was a lot of crime going on. So you can only imagine there was a large police presence that was also there. And I can't even lie to myself and say that, I was really out there involved in the streets too much. So I didn't really get that firsthand experience with law enforcement as other people got in my neighborhood. I mostly just saw police, arresting people in my neighborhood or, arresting family members that I had. And I didn't really talk to them too much, It wasn't until I got a little bit older that I finally encountered had my first experience with a police officer. And I wish I could say that it was a good one or it was a storybook moment where, this officer just inspired my life, but he didn't. It was such a negative experience that I actually despised police officers afterwards. And, my listeners and viewers and people who've read my book, they know the officer I'm speaking of. And it's a sad experience to talk about where this officer just negatively impacted my life, where I said, I could never imagine in a million years me wanting to be a police officer. And that's how much it shook my life. And it wasn't until I got to Texas where I had a positive experience with police officers that really changed everything, changed my whole perspective. My viewers, my readers, they know everything about this story, about, possibly being, almost being robbed from my Beats headphones. And it was one of those things, those officers stepped in front of me and protected me. And it had such an impact on my life that I wanted to be like those guys, I wanted to step up, I wanted to serve my community. And that's what I did. I made that conscious effort to say, I want to step up and I want to put on that badge. I want to go out there and protect people. I don't want to be like that cop out in St. Louis, that I had the bad experience with. I want to be like these guys who stuck their neck out for me and protected me.